Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. This video I'm going to talk about Chainsaw Man. And Chainsaw Man, I think the writer is a genius. I want to read all his work. I've read all of Chainsaw Man. I'm not caught up to like the chapters that have been released past part 1, but all the physical releases in English, I'm caught up. Read all 11 volumes. And let me tell you, it is incredible. It is so good. Power's my favorite character. Denji, and like, I love the fact that he goes from like, he'll show you something and you'll think it's gonna go one way and then it completely flips on its head, and it happens a lot. Like, it'll be like a chill couple chapters and then something terrible will happen. Characters die and they stay dead, which is a relief. And Makima is probably the most interesting character in my opinion. Makima is incredibly interesting. The dynamic that she goes through, like how she controls everything that's happening in the series, is so good. And I'm not going to spoil a bunch of stuff in the manga, but let me tell you, I will later in the video, but that'll be more near the end of the video. So I really like Denji as a main character. He's a pretty good main character. He's not the best, but like, he's very different because, you know, he doesn't have these like lofty goals, these lofty ambitions. All he wants to do is cop a feel. And he went from like nothing to something like most shonen protagonists, but like, his life sucked. It was really bad. I don't think people talk about that much. Like, he was living in a shed. He didn't have an eye, and he didn't have one of his testicles that he had to sell to pay off the mafia guy. His only friend was a devil. And then he goes from that to living in an apartment with some of his friends. Power is like his little sister. And, you know, Aki, is that his name? The guy with the hair thing. He's like his older brother. And he had this perfect life. He had this perfect thing. Everything was going too well. You know, that's my opinion. I know what happens, but, you know, Power is just, she wants to come off as like this badass. Like, I love this about her. She wants to come off as this badass powerhouse stuff, but she's also like terrified of dying. She has animal instincts, fight or flight. So if she sees a devil she doesn't think she can beat, she runs away. And like, she's crazy, she's insane, she's the blood devil. Like, and I like, she is, her and Denji together are always funny. I just tend to like her more because she said, I think her lines are better. You know, she says, "Oh, I'm gonna be the prime minister. Oh, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that." It's like, I don't know. I really enjoy her character and her growth, because the whole time, the first thing she loved was a cat. And she didn't understand why she loved the cat. She was like, I want to live. I want to, you know, I need to live. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, I need to keep myself alive. But then she starts having feelings for a cat, and then she has, you know, she has a friendship with Denji, so she cares about Denji. She starts caring about other things, and seeing her grow in that way is awesome. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but okay, I'm gonna talk about it now. So, manga spoilers. She ends up sacrificing herself for Denji, which like you would never see happen before. Like, that, such an interesting thing, that this character that really only cared about herself ends up caring for everyone else, which, same thing for Denji, kind of. Denji wants to live, but like, also doesn't see any self-worth in himself at all. Like, he wants to live, but like, and he will live now that he has a good life and he sees all these good things, and he does care about people, kind of, but like, He also, one of the lines that stuck with me from him was like, that one girl died, I forgot her name, and Denji was like, I I don't think I, but like, Makima, let's talk about her for a minute. I always thought she was the most interesting character from the very beginning because it seemed like she had motives for something. Like, I always got that kind of feeling from her. Like, why is she taking in this random dude? Why is she letting him cop a feel? Why is she, like, messing with him? It always, in my mind, it always felt like she was fucking with him to get what she wanted him to do, but I thought she was kind of a good person. Manga spoilers. So spoilers. She turns out to be like the villain of the series, and like when she drops a bunch of lore, oh man, it's so good, it's so good. She was so interesting and like wicked and evil, and you're like, man, Denji liked this chick. Denji wanted to be with this chick. She made two people fall in love with her. And, like, she was controlling because she had the control devil from the very beginning. And it's like, this is so, so good. Now, I haven't heard... Well, Aki was an interesting character, too, because his first interaction was they got in a fight and Denji kicked him in the balls. And it's just, they're such different characters. They're so unique in their own ways. Like, Aki's very straight and, narrow, and Justin, like, a good guy. He's taking care of these delinquents, which they run around, and he shortened his lifespan to 2 years, which is ridiculous. Just imagine, his goal is to kill the gun devil, all that stuff, all that hoopla. But, like, it's just so satisfying to see these, like, I like all the characters in the show, besides the, like, real timid girl. I don't remember her name. And then, her partner guy. I thought both of them sucked. Also, like, the barf scene where, like, Denji kisses a girl for the first time and then she barfs in his mouth, and then he goes back to her place and they almost bang. That was interesting. But like, all that he wanted was for, Makima to be his first. And she seemed kind of annoyed that, like, Makima seemed kind of annoyed that Denji was even doing this with this chick. And then she, like, outdrank all of them, which was interesting. She didn't seem drunk at all. She seemed like she was still in control, which was probably a reason for that. I don't know. She outdrank all of them. And then, like, I felt bad for Denji because, like, his first kiss, this chick barfed in his mouth. Like, that was insane. And, like, the manga, this guy has some of the best art I've seen, and he's so good at, like, paneling. Like, I love One Piece. It is my favorite series of all time, but sometimes Oda's paneling is a little much. Like, he has, like, so much going on in such a tiny little box, but I always knew what was going on in the panels in these, and it was very action oriented, and I thought it was incredible. It was funny. It had an amazing story from start to finish. That's why I really want to read. He wrote Fire Punch. I really want to read that. I think it should probably get an anime adaptation, but maybe it will. I don't know. I've heard it's really good. So there's that. But right now I'm reading My Hero for the first time. I've watched all of it, but I'm reading it now. Anyways, I just loved everything about this story from start to finish. It was, I feel like, one of the most interesting things I've ever read. And, like, you wouldn't think it would be that interesting of a concept because it's just about, devils and, devil hunting. And that's, like, such an overused, like, thing in anime. It happens a lot. There's a lot of devils in anime. There's a lot of devil hunters and, like, power things. But, like, the chainsaw part was unique. And, like, you know, I heard every manga YouTuber talk about this series for so long. And I was like, eh. But, like, now I'm just like, man, I wish I would have listened. I would have been caught up from the very beginning. Like, this is such an interesting story. But I'm also glad I could have binged all of it, because I feel like that's the proper way to intake Chainsaw Man, is read all of it at once. Because you will miss, I think you'll miss so many things. That's the thing about One Piece too, is I think when it ends, I think the best thing to do will be sit down and read all of it. And I'll probably do that. Anyways, it's just power and Aki. I love all the ways the characters interact in the series, because they're very different between the characters. And, like, when Makima was, like, at the beginning of the series telling Denji that he was a dog, and you're my dog, you're my loyal dog, you have to listen to me, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't think I would take that from most people, but, like, if your whole life you've been living in a shed and this really attractive woman says that she wants you to be her dog, that you have to listen to her, that you have to do everything she says, I think I might have done it too. Like, if I was in Denji's situation, I probably would have stayed on his path. Now, would my whole goals be to cop a field? Probably not. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.